All right, three, two, one. We are live. All right, everybody, welcome to today's episode of the LPE Podcast. I am your host, Brent, and today we are joined by my co-host, Isaac.
What's up?
And today we are also joined by a fellow blogger and gamer, just like myself. His name is Tommy, and you can find him on Instagram and Facebook at games_whisper. And he also has a really great website, gameswhisper.com. Did I say that all right, Tommy?
Yep, all good.
Right on. Right on. All right, Tommy. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and your history in gaming and what games you currently are playing right now.
Yeah, well, I live all the way down under in Australia. I've been gaming for pretty much my whole life. So I'd say the last 30 years. I've bought basically almost every console there is. So, yeah, I really enjoy doing all the blogging that I'm doing. Nice. And at the moment, I'm playing, last night, just last night, I finished Red Dead 2.
Nice.
So, man, that's an epic game. So, yeah, I finished that, but I guess you could say currently I'm still playing through Darksiders 3, Dragon Quest 11, and I haven't started it yet, but I will soon be starting Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice.
I've been hearing good things about that one.
I've played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it is the best game that isn't an Assassin's Creed game that has the Assassin's Creed title.
Cool. I heard it's more RPG than ever before.
That's
too. Yeah, it's Did you guys ever play? Did you guys ever play Assassin's Creed Origins?
I haven't played Assassin's Creed since Black Flag.
Oh well, yeah, that's the best one. Tommy, did you ever play Assassin's Creed Origins?
No, I only ever played the very first one.
Okay.
And then I kind of didn't play any others until just this recent one.
Oh, cool. Well, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is fun. It's like the prequel to all of them.
Okay, so I'm not missing out on any backstory then.
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, you're not really, because you might be a little confused with like the modern day story, but I think everybody's confused with the modern day story.
Yeah, I do remember it from the first one, but it's been a while.
Okay. Words.
Actually, I wanted to ask Tommy, what made you want to start blogging and open up a website and everything like that? Can you give us like a better description of like what's exactly on your website and blog and stuff?
Okay, I mostly focus on doing reviews for all the games I play, and I do play quite a bit. So I thought, I love talking about games. So I thought this was a good way for me to say everything I've always wanted to say about them. What was the first? Oh yeah, I started blogging actually just earlier this year. And I suppose I also got into it because people kept telling me that I should start a blog, because every now and then I would, say a lot about games on just my personal Facebook page. And everyone, a lot of people kept saying I should have my own blog. And I was like, yeah, maybe one day. And then I just decided to finally do it.
So that's how it started. There's already people who liked your opinion in games, and you just kind of want to put it out more.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's really cool, because that's kind of like how I got my start earlier this year as well. Was
did you start earlier this year too?
The concept of LAN party entertainment, which is like this sort of brand thing that I'm building. Isaac has actually been with me essentially from the beginning, which was actually last year, sometime in like summer of last year. But But then we had like a concept going, but it was really unorganized, and like that's honestly like the easiest way to put it. And then since some stuff like life hit me hard, and I had to put it on the back burner for a while. But then earlier this year I was like, you know what, even if it's just a blog, I should just start doing something. Because I love video games, and I love playing video games, and I love talking about video games. So I essentially did the same thing. Was I started a website, and as soon as the blog was doing good and I wanted to get a podcast going, I made sure to hit Isaac back up and bring him on board, so that way we could continue working on this project that we sort of started together a little over a year ago.
Okay, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Good story.
Okay, cool. So so how was without too many, I mean, everyone probably already knows what's going on with the game. I do, and I haven't beaten it, but how did you like Red Dead?
Um, I would still consider it a masterpiece. I
Okay.
think it's a revolution, or the next. I would consider it the next step in the evolution of gaming.
Sure.
It's amazing the amount of detail and effort they put into it, but it's not as perfect as a lot of critics say it is. The main story, like at least in the first half, I won't say anything else. It didn't really feel like there was kind of a main story. It just felt like you were just pulling off random crimes for the sake of it, make money for the gang, and that's about it. So that kind of, I wasn't able to get into it from that point of view.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is a fairly slow game as well. That didn't really bother me too much. But sometimes, you know, realism in gaming is good, but sometimes it can come at the cost of fun. And that's another problem that Red Dead 2 kind of has at times.
Okay. Yeah, you know, when it comes to, don't get me wrong, I love a game that's long. I mean, if I'm going to pay, you know, I don't know how much this is going to show how ignorant I am in the world. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how much. I'm not entirely sure. You guys have your own currency over there, correct? You know, I mean, of course, like I'm an idiot. So like here in the United States, it's any, you know, a game can cost anywhere from like right at release, a game can cost anywhere between
Like
60,
40.
like 40. That's like the low. That's a remaster.
Small indie game, yeah. Or
that's a remaster. A $40 American is a remaster, but a brand new game coming out, it's $60 to like $250, depending on if you want the special, you know, take my money edition.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a game, if the game is short, it better be amazing. If the game is long, or the game needs to be long. But if the game is long, it needs to be well paced, and it can't just
it still needs to be engaging as well from start to finish. Yeah.
And one thing, when I was playing Red Dead, one thing that I was kind of feeling, and I didn't get that far. I'm only like, I'm somewhere in chapter 1, and I haven't even gone to go try to rescue some guy that we left behind who's like in jail or something.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Wow, you're really at the start.
I just finished that mission.
I'm super at the start. So like, but the games still feel like, I mean, like, one thing that I have a problem with, you know, when they advertise a game as being open world, but you can't get into that open world for 3 or 4 hours, that is just kind of like, why, you know?
I suppose the story does have to get started first, and that first chapter doesn't really take too long. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
it is a slow burn.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, and I kind of did this to myself when I started Red Dead 2. I didn't know what I was doing, not at all. And the beautiful thing about internet and YouTube these days is that if you recognize that you've messed up somewhere, you can easily recognize if you mess up somewhere early on. And I felt like I messed up. So after like playing the game for 6 hours, I was like, I'm not really feeling this. I'm not really feeling the way that I'm currently playing is the way that I'd like to be playing. So I actually started over, and I did those like 3 hours again, where you're up in the mountains, just because like I felt like I sort of messed up how I was playing. But the game, you know, one thing that and we'll talk more, you know, let's move on to Isaac. We'll talk more about Red Dead when we get into the primary topic of tonight's episode, which is the Game Awards, and we'll probably talk about Red Dead a lot more pretty soon. So we'll move on to Isaac. Isaac, what have you been? It sounds like you've been playing Red Dead 2, but what else? It's been a while since you and I have talked. What exactly have you been playing lately?
Right now, all it's been really is DLC for Spider-Man.
Nice.
I finished that the second day it came out though.
Okay.
And then I'm actually really surprised with how much fun I'm having with Black Ops 4.
Okay.
I haven't played a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 2. So Black Ops 4 was a nice surprise, and then Red Dead. I'm in the beginning of Act 2 right now for Red Dead.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I got Black. I kind of regret getting Black Ops 4. It's fun, but it's not necessarily for me. I haven't played a Call of Duty game really online since Modern Warfare 2 when that originally came out on 360. What was that, like 9 years ago, 10 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
That. So it's hard. Black Ops is hard because there's people on there that are so much better than I am.
I've accepted that. I accepted that like the first hour I play. I'm like, I'm not 13 anymore. I can't dedicate 8 hours to get good at this game. I'm just gonna kind of suck at this game.
Yeah, I've never played a Call of Duty before, so.
So, we'll like I said, we'll go ahead and we'll put Red Dead aside. And so what have you been, I have been playing those Spider-Man DLCs as well. Spider-Man is my favorite game. Well, okay. It is a very, very close second to my favorite game. It's hard for me to say what my favorite game is because
and we'll just for this year or all time?
This year.
Oh, okay.
It's hard for me to say what my favorite game of this year is, and we'll talk more about those. We'll talk more about, we'll just say God of War and Spider-Man in a little bit. But what do you think of those DLCs, Isaac?
I think it was well worth the price.
Yeah.
I don't feel cheated. I don't feel cheated that much.
You know what? I would have felt better. It's weird because the thing about those DLCs is don't buy them separately, or else they aren't like, people do not buy those DLCs separately, because one, each part is part of a bigger story, and two, there's only about like 3 to 6 hours of gameplay per DLC, and
I think it's like 15 if you buy it by itself, right?
No, if it's 10 if you buy it by yourself, itself, but it adds, basically, if you buy the City That Never Sleeps DLC pack, it's $24. And if you buy them separately, they're 10. So if you buy them separately, it's going to cost 30 as opposed to 24. And then at that point, I personally believe that is not worth the price. The DLCs are fun, but when it comes to how much money I spend versus how much time I'm getting out of the DLC, it's not really worth it. But
yeah, that's right.
But if I
bought it as a pack.
You bought it as a pack, great.
That's it.
Yeah. So because $25, in a way, you're kind of getting like as like a whole. If you 100% it, you're getting about $1 an hour, because, well, no, that's not right. There's about 18 hours total, kind of, if you 100% it, because every time the DLC comes out, I 100% it in one playthrough. I'll do it. I'll sit down with it when I get off work, and I'll just play it all night until I complete it. And usually it's about 6 hours. So it's 18. So that's not too bad. 18 to 20, that's probably about a half an hour per dollar, which isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's around the amount of hours I got out of it too.
So, okay. Tommy, you and I, we've had a little bit of a discussion about Spider-Man, and have you decided whether or not you're going to play those DLCs?
At this stage, probably not, just because I've got so many other games to play, and they're all pretty big ones.
Yeah.
Maybe if the DLC or the season pass, whatever, goes on special, then I might consider it.
Sure.
But yeah.
Because the reason why I was asking you about that is because you and I have somewhat different opinions on the game. So I was just curious if you ever had any intention of playing that, just because you weren't as satisfied with the game as others were.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the game. It was still a lot of fun.
Sure.
But in terms of the DLC, I think I have to really, really love a game to then get DLC. Like if there was something extra, say for God of War, then I'll definitely get that.
Sure.
But yeah, just not every game I would.
Okay.
So
that's fair. I totally understand.
Yeah.
So I'll talk a bit briefly about what I've been playing. I have been playing currently the most hated game on the planet, and I have been loving the hell out of it.
Really?
That is Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is so much fun. Like I don't think people understand that. I think a lot of the people who hate it had only played the beta or only played like maybe a couple of hours of it. But like as soon as you get it, like as soon as you get past like maybe the first like let's say that you get past level 10, getting past level 10 is when things start picking up. I'm not saying that they're not interesting for those first 10 levels, but the first 10 levels are actually really hard. The first 10 levels were really difficult. But like
that's how it is with most Bethesda games too. Most of their open world games.
Yeah.
The first 10 levels are kind of a bitch.
Yeah, and I wrote a very, very extensive excuse me. Okay, it didn't come out. I wrote a pretty solid, what I feel to be pretty solid, extensive kind of like review. I don't want to call it a review, but it kind of is a review of Fallout 76. I just didn't give it a score.
The first impression kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess. And basically, it is a really nice game, but it's still Fallout 4 in a sense, essentially. But Fallout 4 still looks pretty good, and it's 3 years old now. Fallout the world is quiet. Don't get me wrong; it is quiet. There aren't any human NPCs. There aren't even any human raiders. Like there aren't anything like that, which I think they could have included. I think they should have included raiders as enemies, like human enemies. Yeah. But there aren't any human NPCs that you can communicate with. Like
considering what the game's story was about, it wouldn't really make sense for there to be too many people around.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the whole thing is Fallout 76. It's
the first vault, right?
It's supposed to be the first vault that opens, that everyone goes out to. But the argument can be made that there were good civilizations of humans that still were like okay, or even like like friendly ghouls, like so like that is definitely kind of something that did bum me out, because mainly you get your quests from holotapes, or you get your quests from robots or computers random. Sometimes like you'll hack into a computer and all of a sudden you'll get a quest. And it's just like, okay, cool, quest. But the map is big. There's plenty of there's plenty of places to go. It is a hard game. It gets easier, but it is a hard game. I've been mostly playing it solo. You don't want to play this game solo. Like,
I was just going to ask you that. Like, is it enjoyable solo, or do you really need other people?
I have been having a good time playing it solo, but it is hard. The other day I was playing with a couple of other friends that I've made through my Instagram channel and my Instagram page, and the game got a lot easier because I now had 2 other people playing with me, and the enemies weren't just fighting me. They weren't just coming after me. The enemies would sort of rotate, whoever was kind of pulling the most aggro. And
so the game doesn't scale depending on how many players are with you?
Yes and no. Yeah, kind of. Like I did notice a shift in level when I did have the other people in, because I'm level 36 and they were like level 22 and 25. So all the other levels went down to like 28. But like at the same time, when I'm playing by myself, if I go to certain areas in the game, the enemies will be easier. But the thing is, when I'm playing by myself and I'm fighting against something that's a level 40 and I'm level 36, they're gonna come up and they're gonna kill me real quick. And that is kind of like it's a bummer. And but the game, like if you really, the thing is, I think this game, I personally believe that if Bethesda handles this game well, or if they start to like listen to what people want, even though I'm a firm believer, I'm maybe not necessarily a firm believer of this, but I believe that a game developer should make the games that they want because they are the artists creating their art for other people to enjoy. That's the reason why, like, I have a lot of people, and this could be a whole nother podcast talk, but like, I think people need to just, sure, the games are for us, but at the same time, we can't get mad at a developer for making something that they wanted to make.
Gamers are very demanding nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
I get annoyed when I see people posting stuff like they own the game.
Oh shoot, my camera. Oh no.
And they start making like demands of what the game should be when they have no amount of hours put into the work that it took to make that game in the first place.
Yeah, that's right.
I totally understand. Yeah. But can you guys still hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. But yeah, the game is fun. The game is a lot of fun, and I think people just need to give it a chance. Can you guys still hear me all right?
Yeah, you're still good.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's much better. Yeah, people just need to give the game a chance. Because it's a lot. It's actually a lot of fun. When you get in there, there's some things that definitely need to get fixed. It still has a lot of typical Bethesda bugs. But yeah, it's actually a lot of fun.
That's good to hear because I've always been a Fallout fan, well, since number 3 anyway.
Sure.
And this is the first Fallout that I wasn't really excited about getting just because of the whole co-op and online component to it. So hearing at least from one person that it is really good, and hopefully Bethesda do keep working on it, because I wouldn't mind getting it, but just right now there's just no interest on my part for it.
Sure. And
yeah, Brent is the only person I know that likes this game, because everyone else I know that has the game and is a Fallout fan does not like this
still
game.
Playing it.
Yeah, but they still play it. Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Because the thing is, like, I mean, like, you can still enjoy crappy things. Like there's a lot of movies that I like that are just really bad movies. So why can't be the same thing be said about video games? Like, they may hate Fallout, but they may still kind of enjoy playing it, which I think is like, would that be an oxymoron or something? I don't know. I think that if Bethesda handles Fallout 76 correctly, they can No Man's Sky it. They can Destiny 2 it.
I was just about to suggest that, yeah.
And it could be in. But the thing is, they need to start working on it right now. They need to have something ready for year 2. They need to start. They need to continue to pump out these decent sized patches that they've been pumping out, because the game is still very buggy. But it's, in a way, it's enjoyable bugs. Like, but the problem is, the biggest issue that I have with it is that in every gaming session that I've had with Fallout 76, I get at least one server disconnect, at least one. Ouch. And I get one blue screen. Have you guys ever gotten the error has occurred blue screen before?
Yeah.
I've gotten it a handful of times. Yeah.
Sure. So I get it, and I get at least one of those, basically each. So twice the game essentially quits on me.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
so that it and I don't know if it's just my luck or if it's something within the code of the game where this always happens, but it always happens just as I'm about to finish a quest, just as just as I've spent all of my ammo, all of my supplies, all of my food, drinks, getting to the point where I have been, the game will crash. And because it's an online,
back do you go? Do you have to start the quest again then?
Well, I mean, think of it this way.
What's your last save state, right?
It's an online game. So sure, the game is kind of always saving the way like Destiny does. But yeah, if you get booted from the server, all the enemies respawn, but you still don't have any of your stuff. So that is, they need to fix the stability of the game. And honestly, I think the game will be, I think a lot of people would change their opinion about the game if the game became a considerably more stable. But one thing that I say in my blog post is that I'm going to give the Bethesda the benefit of the doubt, because this is the first online game that they've ever made inside Bethesda Game Studios. Okay. Sure. Elder Scrolls Online, it's not really developed by Bethesda. It's just published by Bethesda. It's developed by a different studio. So, Bethesda had no hand in the development of the game besides shipping it and publishing it. So this is the first game that is not only built and it is developed and published by Bethesda. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's actually not that bad for a first shot. So
do you think they should have delayed the game a bit longer to fix all that stuff?
They should have started the beta earlier. Like that's the beta.
Yeah, it was too close to release.
Yeah, like the beta started a week before? Out, right? No, the beta started a week before.
The announcement was a month before.
Was that?
The announcement was a month before.
The announcement was a month before, but you couldn't get into the beta. Like the beta wasn't accessible until a week before. And even then, the beta was only available for X amount of hours on each given day for certain consoles. So,
and if you pre-ordered the game only, is that right?
Yeah, if you pre-ordered the game, you had access to the beta across. So, and then Xbox One got it first, and then a few days later, basically Xbox One had the beta for I think 2 weeks, whereas the PlayStation 4 only had it for 1 week. Yeah. So yeah, I think that was a big issue. The beta should have done the beta a month out, a month before.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a fun game. And that is what I've been playing a lot lately. That is what I'll probably continue playing a lot for a while now, just because I am still enjoying it a lot. I will complete Spider-Man when that last DLC comes out, probably in a couple weeks. Same. And then just to kind of wrap out, just to Fallout 76 will probably be my wrapping out the year game. And then next year I can't even think of which games I want to get next year. Right now there's only a few. Next year might be a slow year for me. But next year,
really?
Well, I mean,
I think Anthem's coming out beginning of the year, right?
But I don't even know if I want Anthem.
That is true. I don't know if I want it yet.
Yeah. So I just have to see more about Anthem. But like, I do have I have 2 games coming out in January. But next year I really want to work on my backlog. So, well, should we start talking about why we are here this evening? Should we talk about those game awards?
Get into it.
All right. So, I guess we should start off. Should we just kind of like, I only watched it once and I can't really remember the order in which they presented certain awards. Yeah, Tommy, do you remember how they started, Tommy? What was like the first award that they gave out? Some smaller awards in the pre-show, should we just kind of start at the beginning of the night, or should we go off this list that you have on your?
Yeah, the list that I had, I just got that straight from another website. right? So that's the order that was given.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what happened first.
So I guess we can kind of just this.
Well, I remember the first thing that they did was they brought in Reggie Fils-Aimé, the PS4 Sean Layden.
Yeah,
that was a good moment.
That was Spencer. Cool. That was cool. Feels like I don't know. Like I don't know if like Phil Spencer kind of annoys me. He when and Isaac, and maybe you can remember this, but like a couple years ago when they were launching the Xbox One X at E3, he kept saying 60 true 4K at 60 frames a second. He said that
E3 2013.
Now, I don't think that was E3 2013. I think that was 2016 or E3 2017. I think that was last year.
They're launching the Xbox One?
Yeah. The One X. The One X.
Oh, the One X, yeah. That was like 2016, yeah.
Yeah, so like he just kept saying true 4K, 60 frames.
That one came out before the Pro, right?
I don't remember.
I think they were trying to push the point of like this is 4K and PlayStation doesn't have that.
Yeah.
The Pro came out first. I remember that.
The Pro came out first.
Pretty sure it did. Yeah.
We don't have Andrew here to tell us if what came out first, but it's all right. But yeah, that's just the reason why he annoys me, because he the way he was saying things and the way that he was talking, just like it's like you're bugging me. But that was cool. The fact that you have the head of PlayStation and the head of Xbox both coming up saying, we're all here to celebrate games. It's fantastic. And that is fantastic that they're all there. And
I think everyone was expecting a big crossover announcement, and that didn't quite happen.
I know that's what I was expecting that too. But
those two, there will never, honestly, if there was going to be a crossover announcement, I believe that it would have happened by now. I don't think that there's ever going to be some kind of crossover between PlayStation and Xbox. It would be dope if eventually there was like some kind of like cross compatible, what is it? Cross platform. What is that called? All platforms were compatible to play these online games together. I forgot what the word is for that.
I keep want to say crossplay, but that's that's between generations. Yeah.
So look, we can just kind of go off this list here. We'll touch base off of just kind of like the big important ones.
I remember beginning of the show, you texted me that you're already pissed off.
I was already pissed off because I think the first award in the main, it was best narrative.
Best narrative, yeah.
It was best narrative, and Red Dead Redemption 2 won best narrative. Okay, let me make it clear. That the Red Dead Redemption is a beautiful game, and I think it's I'm not that far into it, but I've watched videos. I've seen a lot of gameplay on it, and I plan on completing it myself. And it is a technical masterpiece of a game. Like it's very beautifully made. It's one of the most detailed games I've ever played, ever seen, ever. Or it may very well be the most detailed, but like the game is slow and sluggish, and I don't really like any of the characters in it. Like maybe eventually if I play more, but like Dutch is annoying.
I love Dutch. I thought he was so cool.
I like Dutch.
I don't know. I guess I fell in love with John Marston a little too much. I know that he's in the game, but like it's just kind of a bummer because like I've always felt like Red Dead Redemption was his story, and it's just kind of it's gone. That
I guess Red Dead
working now. I'm talking to myself. This screen.
What are you saying, Tommy?
I guess Red Dead 2 is still, you could consider it Marston's story, just told from a different point of view.
Sure.
Because there are still some central moments involving him.
Yeah.
But about Arthur Morgan, he might seem like just a kind of a generic cowboy character, but he'll really grow on you. So if you don't like him at the start, I think you will eventually.
The part where I started to like him was I think you probably haven't played this mission yet, Brent, but it's that one where I forgot the lady's name, but she has a letter that she sends to him, and he goes to her house.
I've gotten that mission. I just haven't started it. Yeah.
That's where I kind of started to like him, where he was kind of dealing with that dilemma and making his decision.
Sure. But okay, so what I was going to say is, like, I don't think that it deserved the best. I mean, I could just be a complete God of War, like, biased fanboy of the game, but the thing is, like, when I started playing God of War, like, the story of the game was just so amazing, and it captured me from the beginning, and I could not stop playing it.
Yeah, it pulls you in from start to finish, whereas Red Dead 2 is a lot more of a slowly told game.
Yeah.
But just wait till you get to the second half, I would say, and then we'll see. But yeah, both games' stories are told in a very different way.
Yeah, so but yeah, so, like, that was the reason why, like, I was upset to begin with. I was very upset to begin with when watching those awards, was because I truly believe that as far as the way that I like games, I personally feel that I personally feel that God of War is a much better game than Red Dead Redemption 2. Based off of, I mean, I guess it's hard for me to really truly, like, give an opinion, because I have not completed Red Dead, but I've read enough on it. I have seen enough gameplay and enough of the story footage, because I know the story from start to finish, essentially. I know that's cheating because I never played the game, but sometimes, in order for me to kind of, commentate on some of these games, I can't always finish them all. So I just I wasn't like, oh man, I got to get in here. I got to play more. Which kind of bums me out, because when I got Red Dead Redemption 1, I could not stop playing Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah.
So, and I really wanted to be able to say, oh, I could not stop playing Red Dead Redemption 2. But, like, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 in a few weeks, and I'm not necessarily compelled to return to Red Dead Redemption 2 just yet. I plan on it.
I know exactly how you feel, because as I was playing it, I kind of had to push myself to keep going, because I knew I wanted to finish it. And every time you finish a mission, I don't know, because the story isn't as engaging as other games, it doesn't really compel you to want to move on to the next story mission.
Yeah.
That's why I say the first half, it just kind of annoyed me in terms of the story anyway.
Okay.
So I kind of agree with you in a lot of ways there.
Okay. And the beautiful thing is, like, everyone, everyone's entitled to their opinion on games, and I love hearing other people's opinions, but I'm going to argue to death that God of War is a better game.
No, it is. I mean, every in almost, I don't know about every aspect, but I've always thought that.
No, absolutely not. God of War is not a better game in every aspect. When I went to go, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish your comment.
Because I've always thought that everything God of War touched turned to gold. Everything about it, the combat, the story, exploration, the visuals, music, everything, it's just at the highest level. That's why I agree that overall it is a better game.
Oh, definitely.
Deserving a game in the year.
But what I was going to say is, when I went to go vote, because everyone was allowed to vote, you can go on the website and vote for what because it was a combination of judge score and user score. So I went on and voted, and I didn't vote for everything, and I wasn't like, oh, God of War. There was what was it? Let me look here. Let me look at these notes. There was where's it at here?
Yeah, that's interesting. What did you not vote it for then?
I did not vote for it in best. I voted for Red Dead Redemption 2 for best audio design, which it won.
Oh, okay. Is that? Oh no, that was audio, not music. For music, I actually chose Octopath Traveler. I thought that had amazing music.
I for we can jump to since let me just finish this one other thing here. Let's see. Okay, that was it was a lot of the technical stuff. And best art direction. Best art direction I voted for Red Dead Redemption 2, but Return to Obra Dinn was the winner, and I've never played that game. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I looked up some screenshots just to see what it looked like, and I think I preferred God of War over Red Dead 2 and everything else. Yeah.
But okay, so we can go ahead and jump to score. I did not vote for God of War in best score. I voted for Spider-Man for best score.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would prefer Spider-Man over Red Dead and God of War.
But I think maybe what I should have done was so the one thing that I really liked about the score for Spider-Man was, first of all, whenever you played Spider-Man, you like based on like the way that usually the score was playing the way that the way that you're playing through the game. Like if you're swinging, there's this great great epic hero theme that's playing and it made you just feel like you were Spider-Man. It was the greatest thing ever. And like there's just something that theme, what's really cool about that Spider-Man theme is that it actually feels like a Spider-Man theme. If you go back and you watch any of the previous Spider-Man movies, he doesn't really have a theme besides the Raimi movies. The Raimi movies do give Spider-Man a pretty good theme. But the what is it? The Andrew Garfield movies don't really have a theme, and neither does Spider-Man Homecoming really give Spider-Man a really awesome theme. But Spider-Man PS4, Marvel Spider-Man, it had an incredible theme. But God of War not God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2 has good music too, but I just think that Marvel Spider-Man had better music.
Oh, fair enough.
What about you? Did you approve of that? Did you approve of that that the music? Who did you, I forgot. Did you say who you voted for music for? You voted for Octopath Traveler or
yeah.
You have voted for Octopath Traveler? I haven't. What is, like, I need to go back and play some of these games because like I've never heard of some of these games. What kind of game is Octopath Traveler?
It's an RPG, like an old school, like Super Nintendo era RPG.
Okay,
well, that's what it looks like. It's on the Switch only, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably why you haven't.
Yeah, I need to get a Switch because
Definitely.
I really want to pay. I really want to play Pokemon Let's Go. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get a Switch. So let's see here. Moving on. Then let's talk about some of these smaller. Let's talk about some of these smaller games. We'll just kind of give them or these smaller awards. That best. One of the best moments of the Game Awards was the Content Creator of the Year. Not necessarily, I could care less about that award.
Yeah.
We all knew that it was going to Ninja. Like the point, like they should have just been like, we're not going to nominate anybody else. It's going to go to Ninja. Ninja's the biggest content creator ever, essentially. The guy has like a record label too. It's like, what? Like, why?
Record label.
Yeah. Or something. I don't know. He's pushing, basically, like he is through another record label. They are putting out an album of his, but it's a compilation of other artists, but it has his name on it.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it's really weird. But I just thought the best part was that it did have Sonny Soljic and Christopher Judge come up and give that
Yes,
award, and you
that
got
was one of the highlights.
It's like, read it, boy, and it's like it's
Yeah, that
like
was really cool.
it's like that was awesome. Like that
Yeah,
was like
good luck with that.
I didn't realize that Sonny Soljic was also in the movie mid-90s. I'm gonna have to go check that out. That movie looks really good, and I'll have to go see that. And then okay. Let's see here. We probably could agree. We could agree that like best multiplayer of the game probably was going to go to Fortnite.
Yeah, I knew that. I didn't play any of those games, but I kind of knew it was going to be Fortnite.
Yeah, you kind of knew that it was going to be Fortnite. And then Forza. The thing is, I don't play Fortnite. I don't. I've got
played just to see what the kids are talking about. But that was it.
I'm sure that in probably like for me, I'm sure that like what did I vote for? I think I might have voted for Destiny 2, even though I haven't played it in a year. And then Forza Horizon 4, best sports racing game. Okay.
No surprise there.
Oh, you were? What were you thinking should have gotten it?
Oh no, I knew Forza was going to win.
Did you say not a surprise there?
Yeah, not a surprise.
Okay.
I knew that was a very well received game, and
Yeah. And then one thing that I am very pleased about, and I have this game, was best fighting game, and that went to Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Very nice fighter game.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's better than the Budokais though. The Budokais are still
they're
like
kind of untouchable.
The Budokai games are in my mind the best Dragon Ball Z games.
Yeah, I had the first one. It was so good.
Oh man, you should have played all three.
Yeah.
Budokai. See, the thing is, like Budokai 1 was a lot of fun, but Budokai 2 and 3, like they just like it just got cleaned up, and they didn't look like weird. I didn't like the way in Budokai 1, I didn't like the way that the characters were animated. They looked a little too like video gamey.
Okay, whereas they were more cartoony or more anime in the others, is that right?
Yeah, essentially. But one thing that I always really liked about the Budokai games that you can't do in Dragon Ball Fighter Z is when you play Dragon Ball Fighter Z, you automatically pick Super Saiyan Goku or Super Saiyan 3 Goku or whatever. Whereas in Budokai, in all three Budokais, you're just like, okay, you're playing as Goku. And if you have the right abilities unlocked, you can get him to go to Super Saiyan. You can get him to go to Super Saiyan 2 and 3. Because there was always something fun about being able to just go and then just go Super Saiyan right then and there. Whereas like you can't really do that in Fighter Z. But Dragon Ball Fighter Z is really awesome. But I thought that it was probably going to go to like Soul Calibur or something. I'm glad that it went to a Dragon Ball Z game because it is a lot of fun. What can any of you guys have any of you guys played Celeste?
Yes.
How can I get my hands on that game?
It's a download on the PS4.
How much does it cost? Is it like what? Like, do you think it's like $40 here in the US?
I know it's not 60.
No, it's not. Because I want to get it. The game looks really cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It might be on sale at some point because it's Christmas time. But
I remember on the award show they're saying anyone that's any game that's nominated is going to be on sale.
Oh, that's right, huh? I should check it out.
Yeah.
Because I've heard nothing but great things about Celeste, and I want to see what it's all about. So
it's a nice
puzzle.
It's
challenging.
I played it for like 5-10 minutes.
Is it what kind of game is it? Is it a platformer?
Like a puzzle platformer.
It's a puzzle platformer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, more of just a really challenging platformer, really.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just really well designed, really well thought out. Every single section is just a really well designed platformer.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have because like it got games for Impact. And I don't necessarily know what that means, but it's my understanding that the game touches on like mental health, which is really interesting.
Anxiety and depression.
So I don't know why. I don't know if that's the reason. If it was nominated for games with impact, that because it sends a really impactful message.
So. And the way that the game shows you what it's like, so you don't have to have gone through that stuff. The game sort of tries to show you what it's like in a gaming way.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's it helps you understand it. I think that's what it does.
Okay. I'll have to, because like I said, I've heard nothing but good things about the game, and the fact that it must be really good for the fact that it is an independently it is an independent game, and it got nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, there was almost
Yes.
like no press for it at all before it came out.
No, like I didn't even know what it was until the Game Awards. I was like, I've
Oh,
never
really?
even heard of this game. Yeah. Um,
Okay, it came out in like February or around February time.
I just
January.
kept hearing a bunch of good reviews from it from YouTubers that I trusted, but I kind of forgot about it until the Game Awards show.
Okay, yeah. So maybe I'll buy that this week. Hopefully it'll still be on sale for a couple of days here till I get
Are you
paid.
good at Are you good at platformers?
I'll have to
every
I'll
jump kind of matters in that game.
I'll have to get back to you on that when I play.
We'll find out.
Okay, so I guess the next thing, and then it also won Best Independent Game, Celeste, which is fantastic. And
Well,
then
it got nominated for Game of the Year, so it was going to only be that.
And okay, so moving on, and then okay, so the next big thing, it was Best Performance, like the next award that was sort of like a big thing was Best Performance, and my vote went to Yuri Lowenthal for Spider-Man. What do you guys think about the results of Roger Clark getting the award for Arthur Morgan?
I would have thought Christopher Judge, just because he helped bring Kratos more to life. He's just a much more better developed character this time around, and he really done a great job with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you play Red Dead, you do get to love Arthur Morgan a lot more. And I think, what's his name? Roger Clark, was it?
Roger Clark, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, he just has this certain wit that he brings out in Arthur Morgan. So I thought he'd done a really good job. So I guess it's well deserved.
Sure. And honestly, like looking at like what was interesting was this year, with as far as the games go that were nominated for any individual category, they were all very well deserving. Sometimes at other award shows, you'll see things get nominated, and it's like, what? Why was that nominated?
Yeah.
It's like it's like, or you'll look at it and be like, there's an obvious winner on this nomination. And as far as a lot of these big categories, there was not an obvious winner. Ultimately, what it was I knew in my mind that what it was going to boil down to was going to boil down to God of War. And as much as I love Spider-Man, I knew that it was going to boil down to God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. Ever since God of War came out and I played that, I always thought it was going to be between those two games. It was going to be a 2-horse race.
Yeah. But the reason why I went with Yuri Lowenthal when I voted was because I watched when I get really interested in a game, I try to learn everything about the game. I'll watch interviews, I'll find any kind of piece of documentary that I can find on the making of the game. So I watched quite a few videos of interviews with Yuri Lowenthal talking about becoming Spider-Man. And Yuri Lowenthal has his voice, and then Peter Parker has his voice, and then Spider-Man has his voice. When I was playing as Peter Parker, I did not hear Yuri, and when I was playing as Spider-Man, I did not hear Peter Parker. The way that he, even though that there was the same voice, the same character essentially,
he was doing two characters.
He was doing two characters because the challenge of being a superhero is not only do you have to act as the superhero, but you also have to act as their their real identity. And Peter Parker Spider-Man are two completely different people.
Yeah.
This has been evident for ever since he was created. Peter Parker is timid, and he's shy, and things like that. But Spider-Man is super confident and witty. And I just felt like the way that, the fact that not only could Yuri Lowenthal completely get rid of his own personal voice and give not only a Peter a very distinct voice, and then give Spider-Man a very distinct voice, and you completely lose track of Yuri within that character, which I think is amazing. So that's the reason why I voted for it.
I can understand why you think that way.
But the thing is, honestly, if Christopher Judge had won it, I would have been like, oh my God, great. Kratos won. Cause like, that was awesome too.
Yeah, I wasn't really upset with anyone that won, even though there was like some where like I would have rather had God of War win this one. I would have rather had Spider-Man win this one. I wasn't necessarily upset when one of the three won the awards.
Yeah. I will say this, that, given the fact that I'm sure Roger Clark had to do a good amount of motion capture. He probably had to do a lot of time in a studio inside of an audio booth. I don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's very well. I understand why he won, even in just the little amount of time that I have played it. I understand why he won it, and that's great that he won it. But it's always personal preference. But like we've been talking, every single one of these games is very well deserving of the nomination. And
even just for a superhero game, just to be nominated is a huge win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So moving on, did we talk about audio design?
Briefly.
I think we briefly did. So Red Dead got that one.
I chose God of War for that one. I love the axe sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I think I voted for Red Dead Redemption 2 for audio design. I can't remember. Best ongoing game went to Fortnite. Very well deserved to Fortnite, even as much as I hate Fortnite. Fortnite has found a way to keep people playing for, what has it been, well over a year? Like Fortnite's been going on for just a little over a year.
But the thing that annoys me, though, didn't they just copy the Battle Royale mode from PUBG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what annoys me.
I guess like PUBG was trying to sue them for a little while too.
When it first came out.
Yeah. So, sorry. Which I mean, whatever. But so for me that night I was just kind of like groaning, but I was pushing my way through the award show, because I was kind of getting tired of watching Red Dead Redemption 2 win all these games.
Yeah, everyone
win all these awards. and then comes, well, okay, before we get to best game direction, we'll talk about best role-playing game. And we can all agree that Monster Hunter World deserves this award, right? Can we all agree on that? Have you guys played?
I'm still playing through Dragon Quest, so I can't really compare it yet. But I'll still say Monster Hunter World would be the best game.
Yeah, Monster Hunter. Unfortunately, that's the only one. Oh, I played Ni no Kuni 2 a little bit, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But Monster Hunter World was like that game's like, they made a really fun way. They made grinding fun. And usually grinding isn't fun. Like, who likes grinding? But Monster Hunter World made grinding a lot of fun. So I'm glad that it won that. And then best. Okay, we'll move on to another smaller award that didn't get like a main stage thing. was best action game, and that went to
Actually, that did get a mention. Like they did.
It was like off this on the secondary stage. It wasn't on the main stage.
Oh, the 2 stages.
Well, like I guess like the host
Billy would do like the little words on the. I know which one you're talking about when he had his like weird weird like pedestal kind of stage thing.
So best action game got it was still part of the main show, but it wasn't like on the main stage. But okay, so I've never played Dead Cells, but Dead Cells was the winner. And I think I didn't vote for Dead Cells. I think I voted for like Far Cry 5 because it was the only game that I played on this list. So has anybody here played Dead Cells?
Yep.
How is it?
Yeah, it's good. I thought Call of Duty would win. Not that I played Call of Duty, I just thought it would win. But I was pleasantly surprised that Dead Cells did win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always nice when something unexpected wins, which is fascinating. Because like usually Call of Duty is like, oh, Call of Duty wins this game, that, you know, because Call of Duty is like the most popular one of the most popular franchises on the planet. And for the fact that a game that like I've hardly like the name Dead Cells has kind of crossed my computer screen a couple times, but like I've never really gone into it at all because
pretty much the moment. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Pretty much the moment I saw the trailer for it, I think before it even came out, I was like, I have to get this game. It has amazing and fluid animation, and it kind of mixes RPG with the roguelite games, and it looked really cool, and it was a really good game.
All right, cool. I'll have to check that out too. I need to start checking out more of these games. So then, okay, so when my night finally started turning around for the better, was the best game direction. So best game direction came up, and I was sitting there like, oh man, watch, Red Dead is gonna win this one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it's like, and then but like I have to like kind of to sort of accentuate like what I did was basically when it was like when they read God of War, I was like, yes, and I started just shouting it loud because I was like finally, yes.
No.
And I was like, because like the thing is, and I said that, and I said this on my Instagram page right after it happened, was I was like, you know, if there's one award that God of War needed to win tonight, it was best game direction. Because like the way that game was put together and the way that Cory Barlog had it put together, you've never seen anything like it in a game before. I mean, you've got the never cut camera, and you've got amazing actor performances. Just like overall, like he magnificently recreated the God of War universe while still keeping it within the same universe. And it was awesome. So I was really at that point in the night, I was like, okay,
it has a chance now.
I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm good. I feel better about this now. Oh, thank God. So, and on top of that, when they announced it, they also said it won best action adventure game.
Is that when they announced that?
They announced that during when Cory Barlog is like, God of War also wins best action adventure game this tonight.
I think I was so excited. I must have missed that part.
Yeah. So and it was up against Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. All of which could have easily won it. And I think I vote. I was surprised that Red Dead Redemption didn't win best action adventure
you feel like that was the turning point, like, because I thought, whoever won that award would win Game of the Year.
Well, a lot of times this is a very interesting thing, and I see it happen a lot across a lot of different award programs. So we'll use the Oscars, for example. So at the Oscars, at the end of the night, it goes, it's best director, and it was like the best movie, right? Best picture. A lot of times the movie that wins best direction will also get best picture. So when God of War finally won like a good major award, I was like, okay, maybe. But it's like I was still like super like, I don't know. There's a lot of good games.
I was getting my hopes up, but I had to try to ground myself and be like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, still probably going to be Red Dead 2. Don't get too excited.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was definitely a lot more excited after that point.
And then sort of moving on to then, you know, we'll then it basically went. Did it? What there wasn't really any other major awards, that that were really between direction and game of the year, and we've really touched on all of them. So going into game of the year, first of all, the way that they you know presented the nominees with the score was like that was really cool.
Yeah.
Because you and I thought that was like a really great way to present all the games. Um, and like all of those scores were just amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that they ended with the Spider-Man score was like, whew.
You would have loved that.
with that here they ended with the Spider-Man score, and I was like, wow, and I was like, wow, what an amazing hero theme. And when they announced God of War, I was like, oh man, you know, if you think about it, that was the upset of the night. The internet went crazy. The internet, like, dude, first of all, like the comment section when you know that was streaming with it, because I could read everybody's comments as they were watching, and
Yeah.
everyone was just like, Red Dead should have won it. Red Dead should have won it. Red Dead should have won it.
Really?
Yeah. And like all the God of War lovers were like, oh, all you Red Dead hipsters, God of War was a vastly superior game. Blah, 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 blah. The internet lost its mind, and the internet is still losing its mind because I think we all could agree that Red Dead, Red Dead probably should have won.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised it didn't, considering it came out just over a
So
month
recent.
ago.
Yeah,
It's
so
still fresh in people's minds.
Yeah, and that was
It's the highest rated game of the year. It had everything going for it, so I thought for sure it was going to win.
yeah, like exactly. And as much as as much as I love God of War, I was like in my mind, realistically, I was thinking, well, it's probably going to be Red Dead because like what you said, it's fresh in people's minds.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of these. That's the reason why I think Red Dead got some of the other awards that it was nominated for, because
Yeah.
Arthur Morgan is still fresh in everybody's mind. That there is a crazy story, and I don't think it's as compelling as God of War's, but there still is a crazy narrative within Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
I can't deny that. There's a great story there. But it's just not drawing me in the way that I want to get drawn in.
Yeah.
So like if you really and even the executive producer of the game of God of War was like, wow, this is a surprise. Like she even said that, like, this is a surprise. Like I can't believe that 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 we won. So
But I kind of get the feeling that a lot of people wanted it to win over Red Dead 2, because I was watching other videos of people talking about it, the Game Awards before it was on, and like forums, polls, and a lot of people seem to have been wanting God of War to win, but the expectation was for Red Dead 2 to win. So it just made it feel even more. It kind of feel like the gamers won that night.
Yeah.
I
Feeling
wanted God of
like-
War to win.
Was that Isaac?
I wanted God of War to win. A game had no DLC. It
Oh yeah, I know, right?
had no online. It won from just the story. The
Oh
story
yeah.
and, yeah.
Like the and I'm like, as if it, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Sony Santa Monica released a full game, but don't get me wrong, if they said tomorrow, oh yeah, we're releasing a $60 DLC package, I'd be like, take my money. You can have it. Take it. Like, and like that's the reason why that's the reason why I did it with Spider-Man. Well, the DLC came with my PS4, my Spider-Man PS4 Pro, but I was planning on getting that DLC if I hadn't gotten the PS4 Pro. I was just like, I was gonna be like, here, take my money. And there's a lot of times when games come out where I'm like, DLC, okay, yeah, take my money. I went into GameStop a few weeks ago, and I asked them, okay, so Kingdom Hearts comes out January 25th of next month. I want the biggest take my money edition of the game possible. Luckily, it's only an $80 version of the game that they only have available. But I was in a way, I was ready to pay like up to $200 for a version of Kingdom Hearts 3. So I have no problem with spending more money to play a really great game, or a continuation of a really great game, or just to get collectibles or whatever. But yeah, the fact that God of War did win without any DLC, with basically they gave a completed game, and it won game of the year. That was
right.
awesome.
And just like with Spider-Man, they had a lot going against them where they can, well, not a lot going against them, but they could have easily messed up where they could have pissed off people who played the God of War games before it by rebooting the whole franchise, and they could have isolated their fan base, and they still somehow pleased everyone that played it.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Red Dead, I mean, yeah, you could have like lost some fans or anything from making a prequel, but they weren't taking that much of a leap.
No, and the thing is, don't get me wrong, there is the thing about Red Dead is that one thing that I was really looking forward to. I was looking forward to the gameplay. I was really looking for, because the Wild West setting, it's a really awesome setting, and running around and not necessarily the violence or the shooting of it, but the way that the violence and the shooting works, it's really fun. Like with the Deadeye and horse chasing, and it's Grand Theft Auto, but in the Wild West. And I was really looking forward to that. And I still am. I'm one of these days I'm looking forward to getting back into the game. But when they were like, oh yeah, it's going to be a story outside, it's going to be a story that takes place before Red Dead 2 or before Red Dead 1, and it's not going to feature it's not going to be John Marston as the main character. I was just kind of like, you sure you want to do that? Because I'm not I'll get really fixated on certain characters. I fall in love with certain characters. I fall in love with certain characters, and when they decide, when whether it be a film company or a game company decides like, okay, well,
the focus is shifting.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, if we're gonna we'll use okay, this isn't a video game, but I'm gonna use Harry Potter versus Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Okay, I am part of the Harry Potter generation where I fell in love with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, right? And the fact that they were like, okay, well, this is still in the Harry Potter universe, but it's not Harry Potter. I was like, are you sure? Sure. But don't get me wrong, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was really awesome. I haven't seen the second one. I heard it's not that good, but I'm still going to watch it because I love Harry Potter, and the first Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them wasn't that bad, but I still prefer Harry Potter. Does that make sense? I think I kind of explained that way. I love Red Dead Redemption 1, and I'm sure I will love Red Dead Redemption 2, but already I'm not enjoying it as much as Red Dead Redemption 1, simply because I'm now playing with this other person that I'm not used to yet, even though he is with the guy that I am used to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You will grow to love Arthur Morgan though, but yeah, you'll see John Marston in a different kind of way. It's interesting how the gang treats him.
Yeah,
he's kind of treated as a punk. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I heard that he's kind of, like from what I've gathered, he is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Just kind of like he's young. He's young and dumb. Like that's kind of essentially
that's how they treat him.
That's how they treat him.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise when I first saw him, because I was expecting like this huge deal, like, oh, he's gonna act like a badass, but now he's just some punk ass kid.
Yeah.
No wonder why he wants to kill him in the first game.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from like the awards part of it, let's talk about some of the games that were for about another 15, 20 minutes. Let's talk about some of the games that were announced. Now, I can't really, some of the ones that were announced that, okay, let's start with Isaac. Isaac, what were some of the games that that were announced that you were like, oh, thank God, oh, sweet. Oh, that looks awesome.
I think you already know what game that is.
We'll just talk about it.
As Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite franchises that I've played. I like fighting games, so seeing Mortal Kombat 11 was really good for me.
Yeah, that that game looks pretty cool, and I'll probably won't get it, but like I might like rent it or something. I don't know, but I'm just not that good at fighting games anymore, or especially the Mortal Kombat games. But you can't deny that the Mortal Kombat games are like really pretty to look at. So any other ones, Isaac?
Any other ones? No, because that was the only one I was looking forward to, and the other ones, nothing really caught my attention. I was surprised that I didn't see any. I was surprised I didn't see Cyberpunk, but I did realize after the show that they announced before that they weren't going to be at the award show.
Yeah, just like Last of Us.
Right.
Okay, Tommy, what about you? What were some of the games that you saw announced that just look awesome?
Well, I wasn't completely blown away by a lot of the announcements. I was surprised about the lack of announcements from the games people were looking forward to. You know, like you mentioned before, Cyberpunk and The Last of Us, Death Stranding. I'm surprised a lot of them weren't shown. I suppose the one announcement, this might surprise you, but the one announcement that did just blow me away was the fact that you can play as Joker from Persona 5 in the new Smash Brothers as the first character.
Oh, people lost their minds. People lost their minds when that was announced, and I was like, whoa, like what?
Yeah, I'm a massive Persona fan, especially number 5. So to know that you can play as him in the first character pack, oh, that's so cool.
Wait, is he DLC or is he actually going to be in the game?
No, I think he's DLC. There's meant to be 5 character packs.
Okay.
He's obviously the first one.
Is he day 1 character pack, or is he coming down the line?
No, I think he's coming down the line.
Okay.
I would think so, yeah.
I didn't, because it made it seem like he was going to be available at day 1, but day 1 was a few days ago. So
yeah, I think it was on the day of the Game Awards.
Okay.
Well, in Australia anyway.
Okay. Let's see. And then, okay, so for me, there was 2 games. There were 2 games that that really stood out to me. And that was we'll talk about the new IP, which is it was Obsidian's IP. I think it's called Outerland. What is it called? Is it Outer Planets or Outer Lands?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
So a lot of people are excited about that one.
A lot of people, yeah. Like I feel like I wish that I knew the name because like now it seems like I may not be as excited. But it was a very the trailer was very like cinematic, and a lot of times with those with these debut trailers, all it is cinematic.
Oh,
and
Outer Worlds. Sorry, Outer Worlds. I just looked it up.
Okay, great. Outer Worlds. And so they're like what I start getting really excited about is when I can start seeing the game that I'm going to actually play. Like, because, okay, great. There's really great cinematics here. There's really great, like things like that. But like, I want to see what I will be doing. So that was one thing that I was like, okay, this game looks awesome. Like, because like Obsidian did New Vegas. I didn't really like New Vegas that much, but they still made a Fallout game that's an open
Oh,
world.
really? You didn't like New Vegas?
I did not like New Vegas. Yeah, New Vegas was boring.
Oh,
that's just my opinion. A lot of people love that one. That game has a very, very strong following. And then and I'm like surprised that this game is coming out so soon, and it's Far Cry New Dawn. I love the Far Cry series. The Far Cry series is just like, it's ridiculous fun. Like, it's just like the story is usually super over the top and ridiculous.
Yeah, and the villain too.
The villains, I've seen some of the best villains I've ever come across in video games are from the Far Cry series.
Yeah.
Because they usually get really good actors to portray them. And a lot of times the villain, if you think about it, if you've ever, have any of you guys ever played any Far Cry games?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played a little bit of Primal, which I guess is like one of the worst ones.
Yeah. You got to play, you got to play 3. You got to play Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 is the best one so far.
Yeah.
But like, in a way, in the Far Cry games, the villain is almost the main character over the character that you're playing as.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah, so because they like I said, they usually get like really expensive video game actors to play these characters, and they get a ton of screen time. These villains, and when they are on screen, it's super impactful. Everything they say is just super intense and to the point. And it's like, whoa, that is awesome. But usually the thing about the Far Cry games is like I wish they were better. Like there's still a lot of fun. There's still a ton of fun, and there's a lot to do in that world. But like every time I play them, I wish there was more like, oh, well, here's innovation. Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay. When I did my review on Far Cry 5, that basically the biggest issue with any given Far Cry game is, in an open world game, you kind of want to create a story that the story that you're playing. So, in a game like that in particular, so like in a way, like Fallout 4, there's like a ton of different endings for Fallout 4. Far Cry or Fallout 3, it's got one direct ending, but like there's a ton of decisions that you can make within the game that sort of affect the way that your character is, which still makes it satisfying. But like, and even it's my understanding in Red Dead Redemption 2, depending on what your honor level is the way how certain cutscenes will play out. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing about the Far Cry games is that there's no real decision making. Like everything that happens in the story happens every time. So there's not much replay value in this open world game that I feel like when it comes to an open world game, I want there to be some replay value in it. I've started Fallout 4 like 5 times, and every time I start it, like I have fun with it, like because there's different things that I can do. And Fallout in any Fallout game, it's almost as if they absolutely encourage you to play mini playthroughs, because the only way that you could get certain achievements is if you do certain factions, things like that. So I wish they would do something like that. I'm not saying turn Far Cry into a Fallout, but what I'm saying is let there be some interesting decision making that you can make within the game that actually affects the way the story will end. Now they kind of did that so it would be dope to see something like that in the Far Cry games going forward. But back to kind of like what we were talking about with the Game Awards. First of all, Far Cry New Dawn is the first game in the Far Cry series. Did I say Fallout or Far Cry? I hope I said Far Cry.
One of them.
In Far Cry New Dawn, it is the first Far Cry game to be a direct sequel to a previous one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It basically it takes place 17 years after the events of Far Cry 5. That's what I've read. And it comes out in February. It comes out in February. That's less than a year after the release of Far Cry 5. So I'm hoping that it'll be good, because and I'm hoping that it's not just a simple reskin, because there's speculation that it might still take place in Hope County. So it could have been a simple reskin of the game, but like I'm hoping that there will be still some.
That would be disappointing if it was just that.
Yeah, but the end of that trailer did show that guy, that villain, fuck, I forgot his name, but he was the cult leader, Father.
Joseph.
Joseph, yeah. And I thought he was fun. I thought Joseph was a really great villain, and if he comes back in New Dawn, I'll be really excited.
I'm just really surprised they're going in this direction with the next Far Cry. Like, there's already so many post-apocalyptic games, and considering the backlash of Fallout 76, like, why would they? I don't know, bring out yet another one when there's still Rage 2 to come, and people are comparing those two games together because they look so similar. It just seems like a funny, I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if you can do a post-apocalyptic game right, I don't care how many you release in a year. I love the post-apocalyptic genre.
Yeah, it is cool.
But just so long as it's not like a constant rehash of like other games. And what's nice is that, what were you about to say something?
I was just going to say, like, Far Cry games are kind of like that. They feel like rehashes of the previous games in a way.
Oh, they all are. They all are. but the beautiful thing about the Far Cry series is that it's just fun. Like
really fun,
yeah. I do believe in I do believe in the concept of don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah.
Like you can find ways to but the thing is, you can find ways to improve things that aren't broken.
Yeah, that doesn't mean let yourself go stale.
Yeah, exactly. And
you don't want to run that risk.
Yeah. And what I think that the Far Cry series does that that keeps it interesting is they keep bringing in interesting villains. The villains are all like that is one thing that always brings me back to a Far Cry game is the villains. One thing that I do hope that they bring back eventually in New Dawn is they kind of dumb down the way that you do certain things in the Far Cry games. If you've ever played Far Cry 3, you had to go hunt down certain animals to create certain things for your inventory. Which made getting those rewards a lot more like satisfying.
Yes.
But in Far Cry 5, it's just like, oh, you can buy it. And it's like, what?
And that was kind of another problem I actually had with Red Dead 2. Because in the first one, I was motivated to, remember how there were like challenges to complete, like skinning certain animals.
Yeah.
I think they had something similar, like to improve your satchels. And I never improved any of my satchels or done any of that stuff. No crafting. Yeah. I was never really motivated for it.
It just honestly, it looks harder. It looks harder to do.
Yeah, it looks like more of a pain, and it doesn't seem necessary. So there's no motivation for it.
Well, guys, it is about 7:30 my time. Do you guys have any wrap-up comments that you would like to make about the Game Awards or just gaming in general before we close it out for the evening?
Yeah, one question I was going to ask you is, do you feel any game was snubbed? Like any game didn't get any nomination where they should have?
Well, the thing is, like, I don't have words. I don't have, what sucks is, like, I don't have the money to go out and buy just all of these games all the time, but I always get ones that I want. If I want a game, I'm going to find a way to get it. And I've played, I played every game that I wanted to play this year, and every game that I wanted to play this year was nominated.
Okay.
I do, but I think I would have liked, I would have liked to have seen maybe some more credit go to Monster Hunter World and Spider-Man, because they were both really great games. And Monster Hunter World got the awards that I think that it definitely deserved, but like, it would have been interesting to see that game, like, really the game exploded, but like, in a way it sort of was forgotten about over the some part of the year.
Well, it did come out first out of all those games. So.
It was definitely earlier. It was significantly earlier in the year, but like, but like, I kind of, in a way, even though I own it, I kind of forgot about it. I haven't completed it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
So, but as far as like any other games that got snubbed, I think another game that probably should have gotten some more like maybe nominations in other categories was Ni no Kuni 2. Cause that was a really pretty game. That game is really pretty.
Did it get a nomination for visuals? I don't think it did.
I don't think it did. No, I don't think it like
No,
best.
I don't think it did either.
I don't think it got anything for like art design and things like that. And it was like like the way that like it almost looks like a playable cartoon, which I think is really cool. I guess okay. Well, same why don't you guys answer the same question? Starting with you, Tommy. Did you play any games this year that you felt got snubbed for these awards?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Have you heard of Guacamelee 2?
No. I have heard of that one.
Oh, that was amazing. One of the best games of the year. Not even nominated for best indie. I think it's an indie.
Okay.
My mind was blown when I saw it not there. I'm not happy about that. It should have been there.
Okay. What kind of game is it?
It's a Metroidvania type game.
Okay.
So it's a platformer.
It's pretty fun, dude. I played the first one. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
okay.
And
I've been wanting to get the second one.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
The second one is just a massive, not massive improvement. It's still a big improvement. The platforming is really well thought out. The combat is as fun as ever. Has a better story. It's just overall such a fun game. Addictive. Should have been there.
Okay.
So.
What about you, Isaac?
I think I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Brent. This is the first award show in a while that I felt like I don't feel like there was any game announced that didn't deserve the win. Yeah, there was some awards where I felt like maybe God of War should have won that one instead of Red Dead. Maybe Spider-Man should have won this one instead of God of War. But I didn't feel like any of the winners weren't deserving.
Sure. Yeah. Or just simply like any of the nominations.
Right. Or even nominations. I didn't feel like that doesn't belong there.
Like, it's like, this was, and like, I plan on doing another podcast next week with Isaac. I'm going to be in Orange County next weekend.
Yeah, I remember you told me.
And we're going to do that, and we'll kind of do like sort of a holiday end of the year show. So everyone look forward to that. Plug in next week's episode. So this was just to kind of like sort of touch on it a little bit. This was a good year. This was a really good year, and I can't say that about other years. I don't remember a year in recent history where there have been this many really, really good games to get released all in the span of 12 months.
And that has been since the beginning of the year too. Since the beginning of the year, there's been good games coming out this year. It was crazy.
There's been fire after fire after fire starting in January. Starting in January, there was something good coming out every month. Every month there was something good. Even if it wasn't look, even if it wasn't good, it was still like there was still like something crazy coming out every month. Like 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 Fallout 76. It's it's fun, but it's not really that good, but it's still like crazy and it's really awesome and I think Dragon Ball Fighter Z kicked it off in January.
Yeah, it was somewhere
with
in the beginning of the year. Yeah.
with just like an amazing fighting game coming out so soon. But yeah, and then Monster Hunter World I think came out in February. And then Far Cry 5 came out in like March. And then God of War was April, and then May. I don't remember what came out in May, but I think there was a few things that came out
And then
in
Spider-Man
May.
was like August, September-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year has been really good. And what sucks is like next year, right now, the only two games that I know of that I like, I mean, we all, there's probably an agreement that The Last of Us 2 will be released sometime next year. But the thing is, like, we don't know that. There has been no release date set for it. Death Stranding, there's been no release date for Death Stranding.
Right.
We'll jump over to Xbox. There's been no release date for Halo Infinite. There's been a lot of these games that I'm really looking forward to. There's no release date for them yet. So for me to say whether or not 2019 is going to be a really good year in games, I can't say it yet because I don't know when the release date for those titles are going to be.
I know the first few months are going to be pretty crazy. There's a lot of games in the first 2-3 months that I can't wait for.
Oh yeah. I'm going to get, on the same day, it's going to be interesting. On the same day, I'm going to be getting Kingdom Hearts 3 and Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yes, I can't wait for Resident Evil 2. Oh, I'm so excited.
So it's just kind of like February and January are going to be really interesting because let's face it. Personally, I'm going to play Kingdom Hearts 3 first because, how, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Tommy?
I'm 34.
You're 34. Okay. So you're probably still part of like the Kingdom. You're still part of the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I did play the first one.
Like the generation. So so I'm 29 and I was 15 when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. So it'll be 14 years since the last one came out. The last main title, the last important title.
Yeah.
Even though there's like 10 games. And so like that's the one I got to finish. Like, this story needs to be done, and it's crazy that it hasn't been finished yet, and I'm really looking forward to finishing that. So I'll be the first one that I play over Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I'll be good doing Resident Evil 2 first, so we'll compare notes after.
We'll talk about it. Well, guys, we have been going good for about an hour and a half here, and I think it's about time that we wrap it up. So I'm going to let you guys all go. I really appreciate everyone tuning in, and Tommy, I'm definitely going to have you back sometime, probably early next year.
Thanks so much for having me.
Huh?
Thanks so much for having me. I've had a good time.
Of course, thank you, and I'm glad this worked out because right now everything looks, we're still streaming, everything looks good. We didn't really have anybody watching, but that's who cares. It was a good time, and I appreciate both of you guys for tuning in and hanging out, and we'll do it again real soon.
Hey, real quick, Tommy, plug in your stuff real quick, just at the end row here, just in case someone is watching.
Yeah, Tommy, go ahead and tell us how people can get look at your content and where to go. So that, and I'll make sure to over the next couple of days, I'll make sure to put links to everything and various bios of when I post about this podcast. So take it away.
Yeah, no, thank you. So my website or my blog is gameswhisperer.com. My Facebook page, just look up Games Whisperer, I suppose.
Okay.
And my Instagram account, I think it's games_whisperer.
Yes.
They're pretty much my main avenue.
Okay, cool. Great. And once again, and everyone who listens or will listen, My name is Brent. You can find me on most social media as well. You can find me on Facebook at Land Party Entertainment, but nothing's on there yet. I'm working on it. You can find me on Twitter at LPE LP Entertain. That's on Twitter. Still working on building that one up. But where you can definitely find me and most of my content is on Instagram, which is at Land Party Entertainment, and of course my website, landpartyentertainment.com. So I appreciate everybody who will watch this and listen to it in the future. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate both of my guys for stopping by this evening. Thank you very much, guys.
No, thank you for having us.
All right, we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right.
All right.